I don't think I found my voice. I think I started to stop abandoning it. And what I mean by that is, when I was hanging out with friends growing up, I never felt like I really had a voice. And, it always seemed easier for me to just kind of go along with what everybody else was doing. Sorry, I stuttered a little bit right there. um, but it was just easier that way. And it wasn't that like maybe I lost my voice overnight. I think this was something that kind of built up over time. And, it was because maybe sometimes, I would have put some input in and nobody really wanted to do what I wanted to do. So, I think that might have happened at an early age. So then I just kind of decided to go along with what other people were doing because it was easier that way and I didn't have to deal with the rejection that kind of came along with it. And it's something that I realized, and I've talked about this on my channel before. That like I kind of fell into a an isolation, and this happened more like towards the end of high school because I used to be a person that was going out pretty much every weekend, and even after school, we'd go out and we'd do things, and it just kind of after COVID and all that kind of fell apart. But it's when I kind of went into isolation and kind of realized that the things that I was doing for so many years didn't really align with kind of what my values were. And I don't want people to take this the wrong way and to be like you need to be more assertive, but I think you need to honor your identity and you know go against the grain a little bit, or speak up if maybe the things you guys are doing aren't really aligning with your morals, because it is easier to kind of just go along with what's everybody else is doing, and that's something that I'm tired of doing. Like I want to have my own voice, and it sucks that it's taken me 24 years to kind of realize this, but I'm tired of just following along and pretty much just living life without kind of like an identity of my own and being extremely disconnected. And I don't know if people can really relate with me on that, but I just wonder like how much farther I would be right now in my own journey if I would have picked up on this earlier in life, because I feel like right now is kind of like the rebuilding phase right now, and that's why I think I needed the isolation. So I don't think it was necessarily a net negative overall, because I think I can use this in a beneficial way, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Is like I'm building something for myself. I'm creating these videos. I appreciate all the support I've gotten so far. Um, Also, you guys can leave some comments and some questions you guys have for me, and I'm more than willing to make a video on something that you've gone through that maybe I can relate to, and kind of the ways that I kind of work through it. Because I kind of want to build I want to build something here and be like-minded individuals. Like in my last video, I talked about probably going to church here soon, just so I can be around people that want to do overall better in life, because that's what I need to be surrounded by. I've been with people that are just negative and not a whole lot of ambition. So I think, and I've talked about the degenerate behavior as well. That's why I'm trying to get out here and into nature a little bit more. I started going for runs. I started going back to the gym in person. When I was in my real deep isolation, I wasn't even going out to the gym. I had bought equipment for at home, so I didn't have to leave my own house. But I don't think it's healthy, and I need to speak up, and people do appreciate what I have to say, and I'm starting to kind of learn that through these videos. It's like I do have, I feel like a different outlook on life than the typical person. But I think it's because it really boils down to like ignorance is bliss, and I think that's why most people just they don't care to look deeper. And I want to build connections that people do look at, like they look at things at a deeper level, and want to understand, the human brain and the psyche and just why we are the way we are. And I think that's always been something that's very interesting to me. So that's why I've kind of been creating this, and I've been enjoying it. And like I said, I appreciate all the support I've gotten so far. Um, I plan to do this for a very long time. So we're in the beginning stages. We're still learning, but I'm bringing you guys along for the ride, and hopefully you guys can see the transformation over the next few months and the next few years if you guys end up sticking around with me. But yeah, I think it's extremely important, like because I've always been somebody that's overthought everything, and just I struggled to find that voice for such a long time. And I kind of started to practice this a little bit. It's like when something kind of doesn't like feel right in the moment, or there was just a scenario a couple weeks ago. I was out bowling, and my buddy and his girlfriend were getting into an argument. And it's like, normally I wouldn't say anything. I'd let them kind of do their thing. It's pretty typical of them to do this, but it's like I was just like, you know what, I've got to be the common denominator. And I like yelled this kind of out a little bit more. Apologies for that brief cut right there. Phone got a little bit too hot, so we had to restart, get into some shade. So um but yeah, they got into an argument, and I yelled out that I must be the common denominator, because it's like every time they're around, or I'm around them, they argue. And I'm like, is it just me, or is it, if this is a common thing like every single day, then I don't get why you guys are still together. And it was unlike me to say things like that, but it's like I'm tired of watching these things go by without saying anything and putting my input, because it's like I need to care about me having a good time too. It's like if I invite these people to come over, I'm not trying to be a part of their toxic relationship, put that to the side for a little bit. And they were talking about going to the casino that night, and I'm like, well, why do you, like, can you guys please have enough respect? Like I've said it in the past that I have a gambling problem. It's like, can you guys please just have enough respect to not bring that stuff up around me? And it felt good to say that. I've never really got out of my comfort zone and was like, telling people, the things that matter to me. And um, not even trying to be like an asshole, it's just speaking the truth, and trying to better myself, and not have these triggers around me. And honestly, if they cannot understand that and respect that, then maybe I don't need to be around them anymore. And that's a hard realization. It's not something that I would like to say or like to be true, but it's possible. So I think you need to find your voice, and I'm glad that I did. Obviously, I'm still working on it. I'm still figuring everything out. I'm not the guru, but we're working on it. So yeah, this is just kind of my thoughts. Kind of screwed me up that the video got messed up, because I had talked for probably another 5 to 10 minutes and didn't even realize I was talking to a black screen because it was too hot. So I'm gonna leave a video over here, somewhere right here. It's a recommended one that you should go and check out. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.